Maybe Jesus beat that rap, we're not sure. Maybe you can live forever, your heart is pure. Maybe you'll come back someday as a bug on a lawn. Maybe angels come take you away to heaven, or the other way. But from down here it appears that when they're gone, they're gone. Shoo! Mike's Music Method. Ooh, come on in, everybody. I was just introduced to a new artist, Dan Reeder. There's a pretty cool podcast, The Fretboard Journal. I believe they started as a publication, a magazine. But they have a podcast. Dan Reeder was on. What a goofy dude. If you don't know Dan Reeder, go check him out. I mentioned him to some friends, Mikey G, and he told me about this song, Maybe. He goes, oh, if you're into Dan Reeder, check out his song, Maybe. And everyone assumes I know these artists. Just because I have a YouTube channel and play guitar doesn't mean I know every artist out there. So drop other awesome artists down below that I probably haven't heard of. Even if you think I've heard of them, name them down below for me. So this song, guys, go listen to this song. Even if you're not going to learn this tutorial, this is one of these amazing folk songs. So the Dan Reeder story, I guess, is he was the first guy signed to John Prine's record label. And you could see why. Because like Prine, it's these very homespun lyrics, almost to the point where it's like too childish or conversational. And he's hardly fitting the words in. It's got really weird phrasing. But that's what makes it so beautiful and powerful and impactful. It's a song about loss and death and dealing with that. But it's done in such a direct, simple way. It's a perfect song. So go listen, and once you fall in love with it, come back here and let's learn it together. So thank you, Mikey G, for telling me about this song. You're a great dude, Mike. And here we go. Let's do it. If you're new to Mike's Music Method, I transcribe these myself, put on my good headphones, take a lot of time, so they're very accurate. And I give you the tab that's free to download, free. What a guy. Mike'sMusicMethod.com. And what we're going to do here, I take you through every measure. I'm going to hold your hand, give you every little nuance, every finger, no stone unturned. And then we'll talk about singing it, how to sing while playing at the same time. That's going to be timestamped down below. Then at the very end, there's going to be slow play along. So once you learn the verse, you can jump to the end, play it slow, come back, learn the chorus note for note, play along with me at the end of the video. So use those timestamps, navigate this video, many different skill levels. So jump ahead, rewind, play again, or just skip further ahead if you're already a good player. Capo 4, measure 1, we got a G chord. Gonna do your ring finger there. Then we got a 3-note thumb pattern. So we got 6, then the 4th string open. Then I'm gonna hammer on the 5th string open to 2. Then back to the 4th. 6, 4, hammer on 5, 4. And the pointer finger is going to do 6, 4, and I'm hitting that on the 3rd string. And the hammer, thumb, and. So it's always the and beat on the 3rd string. 1, thumb, pointer, thumb, pointer. Measure 2, very similar, except we have at the beginning, on the and beat, I'm doing my middle finger on the 2nd string. Else is the same, so it's thumb on 6, middle on 2, thumb on 4, pointer on 3. It's the beginning, and it ends the same. Thumb on 5 with a hammer, thumb on 4, and then the pointer on the 3rd. 3, 4. Good news is that measure 2 is like all of the verse. So here's measure 3 and 4. Measure 5 takes us to a C chord. 2 ways to do it. You can move this left hand ring finger up and down, or you can move it up and put the pinky underneath it. So you got big C, and they're all held down. And now we have another 3-note thumb pattern. 5, 4, 6, 4. If any of this is confusing, pick up a copy of Finger Lickin' Cowboy Pickin'. That's my ebook. That'll get you through all this cool finger picking stuff. But we got 5, 4, 6, 4 with the thumb. And similar as before, we got 5, 4, and that's my pointer finger there on the 3rd string. Then I do 6, and then middle finger goes to the 2nd. Then thumb back to 4 and pointer back to 3. So 3, 4, thumb, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. Next measure is basically the same, measure 6, but we have 5. Then we're doing the highest string there on the and beat. So I'm 5 to 1. And you can use your middle finger. I'm using my ring. So thumb, ring on the first string, thumb on the fourth, pointer on the third. So that's the beginning. Sorry, 5, 1, 4, 3. You can do thumb ring, thumb pointer, or thumb middle, thumb pointer. Either way's fine. Then it ends, thumb on 6, middle finger on 2. We lift the chord, so open on the fourth string with your thumb and then pointer. I call that an open string cheat, and we're just using that moment to prepare for the next chord. So the whole measure, 3, 4, 3, 4. Measure 7 is back to the G chord. You'll notice a slight variation. Here he's just doing thumb, thumb, and. But then in measure 8, he makes it a little busier. Thumb, and. Right, you have that second string in there. Really similar. And when you're singing the song and playing the song, you're trusting your instinct. Please don't go measure by measure, measure by measure, memorizing everything. I want you to get good at all these patterns, but eventually you're going to let go and trust your intuition. And when you're singing it, you're just going to do the one that's easier for you. Measure 9. This is awesome. There's a lot of songs I've done where you got the D chord or the D7 chord with the F sharp over the top. But check out this coloring. So we have a D7. We're never playing the high E string. So simplify it by just doing pointer finger on the first fret of the second string. And then the second fret there, and then the thumb's over the top. And to be honest, you don't have to do the thumb over the top. You could do pointer ring, and then your middle finger could be doing it here. That's going to be easier for a lot of people, and totally do it. You don't have to do the thumb over the top. You don't get extra bonus points if you do. So measure 9, we're just going to do 6. Well, check out the thumb. It's 6, 4, and then I'm hammering. I'm hammering open to 2 on that lowest string, which is really cool. 6, 4, hammer open 2, 4. Now when we add the other fingers, we got 6. Then I'm doing middle finger on the second string, thumb on 4, pointer finger on the third. So 6, 2, 4, 3, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer. Then it ends with a hammer on, thumb on 4, and then pointer. So 3, 4. And that hammer is slow, it's an eighth note, so don't rush the hammer on. 3 and 4 and. That's already really cool. I like that hammer on, but then check this out. Here it gets weird, and there's a few different ways to finger it. If you're doing that finger there, you're going to have to get your pinky to the third fret, which is kind of awkward. So when you're doing the thumb over the top, you're also going to have to get the ring finger there. So if you did the thumb over the top, you're going to do the ring finger. If you had it this way, unfortunately, guys, sorry, you're going to have to use your pinky. I don't really know of it. I suppose you could have did it like this. Kind of weird, but if you were doing the thumb over the top, it's the easiest, I would say, to do this next measure, which we're going to do third fret on the fifth string. It almost looks like a weird C with that add 6 in there or something. But we're doing that third fret. Because in a D7, this note is a C. So he's giving us a C in the bass. So I got third fret on the A string, middle finger does a second, fourth string is open with the thumb, then my pointer finger does the third. So once you get the chord in place, it's easy. It's just thumb, middle, thumb, pointer. But then we lift, and then we lift again. So we have, then I'm going to lift that ring finger, open on the fifth string, back to the second, thumbs open, and then I lift the middle finger and sound that last note open. So I'm lifting, I've got an open string cheat at the end is what I'm saying. So 3, 4, lift the ring finger, lift the whole chord, real slow, 3, 4, lift the ring, lift the whole chord at the end. So let's take a look 9 and 10 together, because it's what them together that's tricky. So 3, 4. Again, that was thumb over the top. If I were doing it the other way, it is kind of going to be hard to get that pinky there, but it's possible. And then the pinky goes down on the 3rd fret. Lift the pinky, lift the whole chord. Yeah. Whew. All right, now that I made you sweat, we're going to breeze through the rest of it because it's all repeats basically. And remember guys, you don't have to play the D7 like that. You can always just do any sort of basic picking, just do a pattern we already did earlier in the song. I don't want you to feel like you can't do the song just because of one measure. So 11 goes back to the G chord. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and back to the C. Right, little variation. Sometimes you're doing the 1st string, sometimes the 2nd at the beginning. Then measure 15, back to the G. 16, we go back for a quick D. But that's it. It's only the simpler one with the open string cheat. You don't have the hard one because you only do it one measure of it here. So D7 with that F sharp over the top. 6, 2, 4, 3, hammer. Lift the chord. You gotta open at the end. 3, 4. 17's back to the G. Now's the time in the video. Go to the end, timestamp below, slow run through of the verse. Make sure you got that nice and clean with good tone at a slow tempo before you move on. Chickoo, donation pitch. Gonna keep this one short because I think you guys get it. I put a lot of work and effort into all this stuff. I'm a real dude taking time to make these videos. It's a labor of love. I keep this stuff all, it is freely available to download, but that's only because I know people are hard on times. Some people are young, don't have jobs. Some people retired on fixed incomes, disabilities, all sorts of situations you can be in. But the value for value works like this. Those people get it for free. They provide value in a different way through a kind email or a comment down below. But those of you who do have the financial means to contribute, please do so. Go to mikesmusicmethod.com under the donate tab. It can be a one-time donation, that's fine. Maybe every time you learn a song it's $20 or $10 or $100, $500, I don't know, $1.50. Or you can do the subscription model, $5 a month, $20 a month, $1 a month, $100 a month. You get the idea. All that's at mikesmusicmethod.com on the donate tab. Just know I'm a real guy. If I were teaching you these songs on your porch, you'd get me a case of beer or a good bag of coffee or a box of good produce from the farmer's market or something. So think of it that way. If I was there in your town and I actually took the time to teach this to you on your porch and you learned it, you give me something kind back. And I'm doing the same thing. I know it's digital, but I still had to put a lot of time into making these darn tutorials. And just imagine I'm there on your porch with you and help me out. And that's it. And if you help out, you're simply buying me time to make more of these videos. I love teaching private lessons. I always will. But man, the more that I can do this, I know I'm reaching a lot more people. So it's a value for value. Think of it as a charitable act. If you're giving money to the channel, then you're making it freely available for everybody else to consume. That's it. Onward with the song. But now that you're ready, let's take a look at the verse. Not much new. We're in measure 19, C chord. We've seen that before, maybe a little different because it's busier. It's immediately thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, then thumb on the lower string, middle, thumb, pointer. Then an open string cheat at the end where you lift the chord. Sorry, he actually lifts it a little bit earlier because it's on the thumb, so check that measure 20 out at the end there. Occasionally he's lifting that early where you hear open on the D string. But again, small detail, don't sweat it whether you do it or not. No one's going to know the difference. It doesn't make a big difference. Then back to the G in 21. Back to that D, F sharp. And I'll be honest here, guys. I'm not sure I'm hearing him go to the C now in the chorus. It's hard to tell in the recording when I listen to it. So definitely feel free to simplify it. You could just do that same way twice if you wanted to. Just repeat it like that. Or if you like that part with the C in there, you can do it that way. Then back to the G for the end in measure 25 and 26. That's that's the entire song, we go back. The chorus does repeat. So the tab is free to download at mikesmusicmethod.com, and the chorus would just repeat from 19 to 26, repeat 19 to 26. That's the whole tune. It just says verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. The very last chorus, make note, you would play the chorus up to 23, and then instead of playing that second measure of D, you'd go to the Coda. And if you look at measure 28 here, let's talk about that. It kind of starts the same, where you have that D7, you go through that third fret there, right? And then there's a fermata there. That just means you're going to let that A linger longer, because when they're gone, then we have a little pickup where he's just hitting open on the third string open before he goes to the G. And then he just strums it. So one more time, 2, 3, 4. Fermata, 3, 4, and. Yeah. Now that you got the song, before we do slow run-throughs at the end of the video, let's talk about how to sing it. And here I'm going to admit, this is not an easy song to sing. Not because it's difficult to sing in the sense of like it's high or there's crazy runs or embellishments. Like, it's pretty straightforward, but it's the phrasing, right? There's so many words and this very conversational tone that it makes it really hard to fit. And here's one of these songs where I'm not going to do it exactly as Dan Reeder, just because my intuition on the phrasing is going to be a little different. And you experiment on your own. But what I will say is you want to follow this process of first only strum, second step only do the thumb, then the third step is try to do like a basic pattern to it, then finally you do the whole song. So what that looks like is, I'm just going to strum here. First guy I knew who died, I can't remember his name. 10th grade started, he just never came again. All his friends sat around and cried for a day or two. You can say what you want about a mortal soul. When that guy died, it left a hole. It was my first clue that when they're gone, they're gone. And then the chorus, let's go to the chorus. Maybe Jesus beat that rap, we're not sure. Maybe you can live forever if your heart is pure. Or maybe you'll come back someday as a king prom. See, I missed a beat in there. Maybe angels come and take you away to heaven, or the other way. But from down here, it appears that when they're gone, they're gone. After that, I would just do the thumb. First guy I knew died, I can't remember his name. The 10th grade started, he just never came again. All his friends sat around and cried for a day or two. You can say what you want about the mortal soul. When that guy died, it left a hole. That was my first clue that when they're gone, they're gone. Maybe Jesus beat that rap, we're not sure. Maybe you can live forever if your heart is pure. Maybe you'll come back someday as a king prom. Maybe angels come and take you away to heaven, or the other way. But from down here it appears when they're gone, they're gone. Then maybe you start doing the hammer-ons, where they appropriately go with the thumb. Then you do a basic pattern, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and maybe just keep it consistent. First guy I knew who died, can't remember his name. 10th grade started, he just never came again. All his friends sat around and cried for a day or two. You can say what you want about the immortal soul. When that guy died, it left a hole. It was my first clue that when they're gone, they're gone. Maybe Jesus beat that rap, we're not sure. Maybe you can heart is pure. Maybe you'll come back someday as a king prom. Maybe angels come and take you away to heaven, or the other way. From down So there, I'm just thinking of a basic pattern instead of the tab. So we want these two approaches all the time. One is like the exact zoomed in microscope. It's how we get better and learn new things on the guitar. But when it comes to performing, you gotta let go of that. Take a more generalist approach and use the skill set that you do have just to get the song down. And that's the process. Let's do the slow run-throughs. Slow run, the intro and the verse. 3, 4. Start singing. Take the C. Beautiful, huh? Slow run of the chorus. We'll do it twice, and then we'll actually tag the coda. I know this song doesn't go that way, but just so we get used to it, let's start from 19. 2, 3, 4.